J-Lock.
The Clippers can do whatever the hell they want, but I'm not going to trust them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
J-Lon, we're starting with you on this one. We often talk about underrated players all the time. You know, like this guy's underrated. This guy deserves more love. Why don't they respect him? But we don't talk about the overrated players as much. We'll mention certain guys here and there that they're overrated, but we never dived into the topic of this guy is overrated because. So today I ask you, J-Lon, give me 2 players who you feel are overrated and tell us why. Floor is yours.
first I would like to give honorable mentions because this was tough. This was a tough decision on deciding who I was going to pick.
Bro, you're
But
both
I'd like to give.
shenanigans, bro.
I have to give my honorable mentions. First, Pascal Siakam. I would like to say I called it. The man double dribbled with the game on the line against the New York Knicks. I would like to give a personal shout out to Rudy Gobert. I would like to give a shout out to my guy Damian Lillard. And it's crazy because I used to love this guy. I had a Damian Lillard jersey, no cap, back in the days.
What'd you do with the
And
jersey?
You
then
still have it.
What'd you do with
I
the
actually
jersey?
don't. I actually don't. My
What
brother
happened
took
to the
it.
jersey?
Yeah,
My
what happened to
brother
the
took it.
jersey?
My brother took it.
Is that why you're upset?
That's why I'm upset.
You lost the jersey?
The man is upset when.
We'll say that's why. We'll say that's why.
He
But
had
my
a
2
Lakers tee,
overrated
right?
players. Yeah, I had a T-shirt too. You remember that one?
Yeah, the
Mark?
t-shirt too. I remember that.
What happened to the T-shirt?
Oh, I couldn't tell you what that was. I think I used it to clean glass after that series. Yeah, that's what he deserves. Anyways, my first overrated player is Benjamin Simmons.
Oh boy.
Here's why. I'm going to read you a quote from his draft stock. This could be the next coming of LeBron. Left-handed, swift, agile, jumps out the gym, and IQ through the roof. We really might be seeing one of the greatest players of all time. He proceeds to shoot 60% from the free throw line, 15% from three, averages 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's had multiple playoff games where he has a 4-year, 150 something million-dollar contract. He's had 1 point, 6 points, 8 points, 9 points, and 7 points. Let's just circle back. The first number I gave was 1. He had 6 free throw attempts. Mukhtar, would you be so kind as to do the math on that? 1 out of 6.
17.
One.
If you round it up.
Yeah, exactly what Perry said.
17%.
16.6.
16.6%. That he had 1 free throw in a playoff game. Game 3 against the Boston Celtics. So it's a must-win game. He had 1 point. Come on, Benjamin. And he dated Kendall Jenner. Miss me. Second player, Christopher
Evan
Paul.
Booker, huh?
Christopher Paul. This is gonna be controversial, but I think Chris Paul is massively overrated. He has this narrative of of transcending teams, so taking teams to the next level. So let's look at that. The New Orleans Pelicans, he absolutely took to the next level. They were in the basement for 9 years prior of the Western Conference. He comes and the perennial playoff contenders, I should say, because the real contenders were the Spurs, the Lakers, so on and so forth. But he went up against great teams in the West. I'll give him that. He had great teammates out there: David West, Tyson Chandler, Peja Stojakovic. I look at his days with the Clippers. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, J.J. Redick, Darren Collison, Paul Pierce. Obviously, Paul Pierce was 65. He had phenomenal.
He had 65.
He had a phenomenal team in LA, and consistently underperformed. He blew leads against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Houston Rockets twice, Dallas once, Oklahoma City, where he threw the game away in Game 5, because of Russell Westbrook's lockup defense, but that's none of my business. I don't even know why I brought that up. And then and against Oklahoma City, goes to Houston. Can't stay healthy in Houston. Tears his hamstring with a paper cut. We praise him for bringing Golden State to 7. Okay, so we're praising almost winning. Nice. And then in Oklahoma City, they're 7 wins less than the year before. And now in Phoenix, they're 1 win more than they were last year. So we glorified Chris Paul as this savior. Is he a great point guard? Absolutely. Is he one of the best point guards to ever play the game? Absolutely, in terms of playing the point guard position. But we need to stop treating him like he's that guy. He's consistently underperformed in the playoffs. Consistently. And he's never healthy. Your best ability is availability. And he's never available for me.
All right. Yo, Perry, let's go with you. Who are your 2 overrated players and why?
I need a sip of caffeine.
Yo, I wish.
We don't sponsor Tim Hortons is not sponsoring us. Just want to.
Tim Hortons did not sponsor us. Hell no.
Yeah.
Send a check.
Neither does Nike for that matter.
I'm going to ask you guys a few questions.
Oh,
because we need to investigate. We need to nip this in the bud and actually get to the root.
Yo, your lawyer law school thing.
Are you guys down for this? Or am I on a journey by myself?
I said we need to investigate.
I'm searching for unequivocal facts to lead me to an undeniable conclusion. Now, Mukhtar, I know you love stats, so please tell me this. What is a good average at the free throw line for a point guard?
Say 85 and up, or 82 and up. Maybe I'm being too 82 and up.
I'll be generous. We'll go 80. Cool? Is that
Cool.
fair?
It's fair.
Okay. Bina. Mr. Wesley Snipes himself.
What's up?
You see Bina started feeling himself?
What's up?
If your NBA comparison is Jason Kidd, if your NBA comparison is Kevin Johnson, Russell Westbrook, please tell me what you're envisioning. Please, go ahead. Take your time.
Yo, greatness. What do you mean?
All right, that's all I needed to hear. And now, my beloved J-Lo, about to be a father. If your son pursued basketball, played at a high level, and said, "Father, I would like to see," sorry, my fault, I almost choked up. And he said, "Father, I would like you to see me shoot a 3. Please come to my game. What is the minimum requirement for the 3-point percentage for you to agree to such stipulations?"
30.
30%. What if I told you that my player failed all 3 of what you said? Before we get to that, remember the times when we would walk by a candy machine and we would take a quarter and put it in and get candy? Did you know that that's my player's 3-point shooting percentage? Give or take 2 pennies?
Ben Simmons?
No. Even better. Ja Morant. Ja Morant is top for my overrated. He's shooting 27% from the 3-point line. Shooting 27% from the 3-point line, 74% from the free throw line, 44.9 from the field. All right, we'll take that. His team is 8th, which is solid. However, they're victims of the playing game. if the Lakers drop down to that, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. They're the almost but not good enoughs. I understand that they have a few injuries, but his numbers are below pedestrian. Why are we considering him the next best thing since sliced bread? Someone answer it.
He has a dope name, I guess. I don't know.
That's not even his real name.
Oh, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Bro, it's like Tremetrius.
What?
Ain't no way. Way.
I genuinely just read that off the computer. It's Tremetrius.
Tremetrius Jamel Morant. Wow.
Yes. Okay. So now we realize that not only his game, but his name is a fraud. And if we elaborate and expand on this fact, I believe a lot of people said he was supposed to be better than De'Aaron Fox. All right, I'm just going to leave that there so it can marinate. I need someone to ask me why I need that to marinate.
Why do you need
that to marinate?
Because I'm cooking with my next one.
You set us up, Beaker. Damn!
Now, this next player dresses like a church boy, but his buckets are far from holy.
I can't lie. Your one-liners today? Hey, your one-liners today? I rate them.
But now, we need to investigate. What does this man bring to the NBA environment that made us think he was elite? I can't give this one hint because it'll give it all away. So we're just going to build momentum like a snowball, going down the mountain to create a huge boulder. And this boulder is going to be what crushes us. Do you know why it's going to crush us? Because reality hits hard. This man sings immaculately, dropped an album, took LeBron to 7. But do you know what else he did? He took that same quarter that's John Morant's three-point shooting percentage and did what I never knew was possible. None of you guys know what's possible. Why? Because you guys would spoil this. He turned it into his winning percentage.
Yeah, that was a good transition.
And then he asked for out? He believes he's a superstar. Do you know who else believed they were superstars?
Popcorn. He has a track superstar.
Oh, he is a superstar, though. He is. He is a superstar.
So who is he?
Before I tell you who he is, the only R&B player who was getting buckets like the Colonel sang Back at One played on the set of Space Jam. But if this guy is on Space Jam, that movie goes bankrupt because he is not a superstar or the superstar that he believes that he is. This man's name, I'm going to read the full government so that we can understand the first.
You really disrespected everyone with their full government names.
Is Kehinde Babatunde Victor Oladipo.
That's the most amazing name I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
He's Nigerian, bro.
His game does not match.
My brother.
And that is what I have for you. Thank you.
Okay, so after that educational lesson from Perry, who's clearly feeling the end of semester vibes, Mukhtar, who are your two overrated players and why?
I'll keep it short and sweet and simple. Nikola Vucevic. I really had high praise for Nikola Vucevic before the Chicago trade. I really thought he was probably one of the best players at his position. Not going to disrespect Joel and beat Nikola Jokic like that, but nobody averages 20 24-10. Like it's tough doing that. So him going to Chicago, I thought that he would be the player that pushed them above the brink. Like they've just been a team that's been these last few years, and he could have been that player to like push them over the hump so that they can solidify themselves as a playoff team. But fortunately, since he's got there, they're 3-7. They've lost to teams like Minnesota, Cleveland. Like it's just not it's not working the way I thought it'd work. Maybe I'm not giving it too much of a opportunity. It's only been like 9 games that he's had with them, but at some point you are who you are, and it's more than enough. So, and next, my next pick is kind of a combination because they're on the same team. I'm gonna say Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The reason why I say this is because I've noticed that, like, yeah, they are great individual players. I'm not gonna lie. Jaylen Brown is a very good two-way player, and Jason Tatum's I call him a natural scorer, like a natural bucket. That's what I call Jason Tatum. He makes scoring look so easy. But my problem with them is the reason why their team has taken a step back and not a step forward. They lost Gordon Hayward. They haven't had Kemba Walker this much this year, so they haven't had that much playmaking. And what you notice is these guys don't facilitate, and they don't get their team. They don't make their teammates better. So as a star in this league and as a superstar, as what they call Jason Tatum a superstar at this point, and as a superstar, you're supposed to be able to help your teammates get easier shots and easier buckets, and they're just not doing that. And that's why they're where they are now. Like I thought it was because of Marcus Smart not being there, but clearly it's not because of that. They're just as trash as him being there. So there's something fundamentally wrong with them. So yeah.
Damn.
That's it. They're just as trash as him being there. Bro, I don't know what happened.
With a straight face. Sans émotion.
J-Lo, you can't call yourself uninfluential. Bro, you corrupted Mukhtar. Mukhtar used to actually be an appreciator of sports, and you turned him into a bona fide hater.
No, I'm not a hater. It's when you show me something.
They're garbage.
It's a realist.
Absolutely. There's no way that a team with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, there's no way a team like that should be 2 games above 500 with 10 games left in the season. Impossible.
In the Eastern Conference.
There's like 15 games left in the season, 10, 15 games. Some teams have 10.
Crazy.
Like you can't, I'm sorry, at some point, no. You guys are both supposed to be all-stars. Jason Tatum didn't make it because he didn't play that much. Kemba Walker has been an all-star the last like 3-4 years. Come on. Show me some.
So before we move on, I just want to open the floor. Does anyone object to anyone's overrated players and want to fight why they object?
I don't necessarily want to fight, but I'm calling into question Mokhtar's pick of Nikola Vucevic only because I think the sample size is small. 9 games to dub him as overrated, I don't think is fair, and that's the only objection I have. But I understand why he would come with that conclusion. But I do feel that the big man shooting guard combo is something that takes time to develop. It's chemistry, right? It's more chemistry than anything, and practices are kind of limited through this season, from my understanding. So I do think that one was a little premature.
Okay, so before I open the floor to Mukhtar and Jalen, I'll pose this question to you, just based off what you said. What would be enough of a sample size? Because to me, I think 10 games, it's 9, so there's one more, but I think 10 games is a fair enough sample size, right? So what is a good enough sample size to judge if something is working or not?
I think you have to kind of see the trend, right? It's not necessarily to deem something as not being able to work when you just assemble it without any sort of legitimate practicing. I think it's premature. I think if you were to give him a season, like if at the end of the season they finished worse than what they were projected, then you can call into question the combination of the two. Mm-hmm. But after 9 games, like it takes teams a while to figure things out. Like Miami took how long? Like they took a few games to.
Jalen, you're on mute.
Sorry, I just want to interject, Perry. I apologize.
I agree with Jalen. I already know what he's gonna say.
That was different. they faltered at the beginning of the season because they literally had nobody.
Nobody.
Like Tyler Hero was like
No.
primary.
My fault. I meant with LeBron. With LeBron.
Okay.
My
Okay.
fault. My fault. I should have
My bad.
specified. You're right.
My bad. I
That's
thought you meant
true.
this year. I thought you meant this year. My bad.
No. That was a good clarification. I apologize for that, for the lack of clarity. But Miami, when they had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, they struggled in the first part of the season to build that chemistry. Golden State, when KD came in, they needed to figure out a way where him and Curry could coexist. So I do think that there needs to be room for error so that these players can build that chemistry and actually give you a sample size that's reflective of their abilities. 9 games is not enough, especially when you're plugging in a piece that's as important as Vucevic, particularly because the centers that Zach LaVine had before were not as skilled. The centers that Zach LaVine had before, the most skilled center he played with is Karl Anthony Towns. Now think about that. That's almost prehistoric if we're kind of trying to reflect back on Zach LaVine in a Timberwolves jersey. Which is why I do think that he needs time to adjust playing with a big, and a big needs to adjust playing with someone as elite as a Zach LaVine. His second best player in Orlando was Aaron Gordon / Markelle Fultz. And no disrespect to them, but Zach LaVine is light years ahead of them.
Miles.
So, Jaylon, Mukhtar, do you have any objections? Do you want to contest anything? Do you want to explain anything like Perry did with that pick?
I want to. Sorry, Muck, if you allow me to go first. I
Go
want
ahead.
to interject and say that I kind of disagree with your John Morant take. I feel, again, to say overrated, the sample size is still too small for me. He's been in the league for, 2 years? 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
This
Yeah, 2
is the
years.
second year.
This is
This
second
is
year.
second year. We can't say overrated, even though he has the comparisons. We have to let his career span out a little bit longer. We have to give him like a 5-year span where we give him competent teammates who aren't named Dylan from Brampton, and see what he does. See what he does with that. Like, for me, 2 years is too short. That's my only objection.
He's actually from Mississauga, but okay.
Interesting.
Whatever.
So you
He
thought
looks like he's
9
from there.
games. You thought 9 games was more than enough for Vucevic?
That was different. That was different.
Because we know
Okay,
what
Perry,
Vucevic is throughout his
that was
career.
different.
No, but Mukhtar brought up a good point. We know what Vucevic is and what
We
he was
don't know
supposed
what
to come.
Ja is yet.
Yeah, exactly. And what Vucevic was supposed to come into the Bulls to do is elevate them to be top 4.
Yeah, a playoff contending team.
Exactly. So I think that's the difference. Yeah. So
I think John Morant is overachieving with Memphis. Sorry, Monk. Man, that's what I'll leave.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna ask Perry, what do you think Vucevic is averaging now that he's in Chicago? Do you think his numbers have gone up or gone down?
They've gone down.
So
Well, that's what happens
how you get more opportunity?
when you play with better players. Not really. He's not getting more opportunity, bro. He got
Shots
to
are
shoot
being
every
taken
shot
away
he
from him, I
wanted.
think, yeah.
No, he's getting the same amount of shots, man.
Okay.
It's the same amount of shots. He was
I
playing
think
with
it
he was playing with
changes.
high usage guys too.
okay,
So-
let me pose this quick question before I move on, just because I'm not comparing him to this player per se, but okay, so you know how Domantas Sabonis has been playing well. Do you think if Domantas Sabonis went over to the Bulls, do you think his numbers would be a little better than what Vucevic is doing?
Can I say that Domantas Sabonis would be a great fit with Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook? I just want to put that in there. I think he'd be a fantastic fucking fit. But I apologize for the vulgar language. But I think it'd be a great fit. But that's all. That's all.
So you want to answer the question? Yo, I like that pitch though.
I think it'd be the same.
Okay.
I think Domantas Sabonis offers you a little bit more defensively, maybe. But they're both white boys who can barely move their feet. Like, at the end of the day, they're very limited in what they can do defensively. They put up basically the same numbers. Domantas Sabonis scores a little bit less, if I'm not mistaken.
Pass is better though.
Yeah,
sure.
Better facilitator for sure. So I don't know. He might it might change that offense, but everything's got to run through Zach LaVine, and I think that Vucevic is a better fit for Zach LaVine than Sabonis would be.
100%. I think so too.